Hey, man.
What's up?
Have you ever heard of...
You going fishing today? What is this?
Oh, I forgot I put this on.
Yeah, I forgot. I was I forgot I was wearing this.
This is my vest.
Button it up.
Huh?
Button it up. God, I was being mean. Why do you have this vest?
Corset. I don't know. I just wanted to wear it. I haven't worn it in a while. This is my old hardcore
shirt vest. There you go. Yeah, show us the buttons and the patches.
This is I don't remember. This is the Red Brick Army. We are the Red Brick Army.
Who's the Red Brick Army?
Us.
Is that
Silverstein.
Is the Red Brick Army a group that we should be concerned about?
These are all brand bands. Here, I mentioned this. Ready? See the back.
Here's your weekly pay. if you add that attitude to it, it's way worse.
It changes it.
It does change it. You don't have to do that.
But the people, they want to make an honest living. They don't want to just get money.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to just give money for nothing. Anyways,
I don't think that's true.
Things I learned last night.
Oh yeah, the devil in the crosshairs. It's pretty sick.
So I wore this and I thought it was so cool. This came with sleeves, but I got too big for them and I cut them off.
Did you really?
Yeah. No, I bought this. I will never forget. I bought this at PacSun. It was I'm pretty sure it was the first time I went to the mall on my own. In 6th grade, I bought this at PacSun. I thought it was so sick. Wore it for years. And then my arms wouldn't fit in it anymore because I got too big. And then, for real, my arms wouldn't fit in it anymore.
It is a little tight in the armpit.
It is small.
Yeah.
And then in high school, I was like, I could cut the sleeves off that and make my vest.
Yeah.
And then I put the patches on. My grandma sewed the patches on. I thought it was so cool.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
And then I wore it paintballing. It was cool.
This is your paintball vest.
Yeah, this is the one that I got shot down the middle in. Anyways, have you ever heard of...
Did you hear him? Struggle to breathe from... For audio listener, you got to understand, all he did was stand up and turn around.
No, I'm struggling.
And he sits down, he's like...
I'm not struggling to breathe from moving. It's maybe worse. It's maybe worse. I'm struggling to breathe from Panda Express. Panda Express ripped me up.
Panda Express knocked the wind out of me.
Someone literally... I posted that thing on Threads yesterday about Archer getting some processed food for the first time and him being wired.
Yeah.
And I posted it, probably not related, but could be. It's the first time he's had a decent amount of sugar and syrups and stuff.
And then RFK Jr. personally responded, sugar in his diet really kind of messed him up a little bit. I think
it did bring a certain kind of people out of the woodwork.
It's better if babies go outside and kill their own birds. You're like, what? I think it's for the best if babies go outside and kill their own birds.
Okay.
You got to start them young, otherwise they don't know that.
We got back from lunch. We literally did just get Panda Express.
Yeah.
And someone commented and they're like, yeah, but you're biased because you like healthy food. So you think that the unhealthy food is what the problem was. And I was like,
oh, you don't know that I just housed orange chicken and Beijing beef.
I literally was like, I just got Panda Express.
You don't know what
I love processed foods. Big processed food guy over here.
We should one day between shoots. I saw the Pizza Hut across the street. They're trying to stay in business. Yeah, they got a sign that says all you can eat lunch buffet.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Should we?
Shoot, I love a Pizza Hut buffet 20 years ago.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
I wonder if
I think
the same.
Are they trying to bring it back?
I have heard that they're trying to bring it back.
It's an all-you-can-eat pizza and salad. Should we run it?
We should. Should we run it after this episode? Second lunch?
It won't be lunch.
All-you-can-eat pizza buffet?
And then we come back, and then we're both just sitting here like, yeah. I do think about my hometown had a pizza buffet, and we would go there a lot with our friends, and I did eat a lot of pizza,
It's funny.
And what's crazy is how much your body can't handle what you used to put in it.
I know it is funny to think about that, but it is funny to look back at the Pizza Hut buffet because they had the buffet of all the pizza slices, but as garnish to the buffet, they just covered it in lettuce, but it was like, this lettuce is not for you to eat.
Oh yeah.
It just
Don't
looks
eat that
nice
lettuce.
around the
Yeah. It's just on the bed of the bed of ice and a little bit of lettuce on the outside. Yeah.
But don't touch that lettuce.
Don't touch
that
lettuce.
That lettuce.
You should not eat that
You
lettuce.
should not eat that lettuce.
Hey, there's a couple rules when you come to the pizza buffet. Just be aware. Don't eat the lettuce and don't go in the tunnel.
Tunnels.
All right.
Yeah, there's tunnels underneath.
Let's rip it thing. What's your episode about today?
Have you ever?
Hey, happy August 4th, everybody. Go ahead.
Happy birthday, America.
Happy 250th and 1 month birthday, America. We're like stepdads who forgot your birthday. And we're like, hey, champ.
It's your birthday.
Hey, champ.
Where is everybody?
Happy birthday. I brought fireworks.
You think I would forget your birthday?
Hey, I made these my own. I made my own fireworks.
Bree's got an uncle who does that.
Makes his own fireworks?
That's a very Midwestern thing to do.
Yeah.
Make homemade fireworks. Anyways, have you ever heard of Sarah Winchester?
Sarah Winchester.
Here's a picture of
No. Is that her maiden name? Oh, she's an old.
No.
We're talking about somebody in the 1800s.
Here's another picture of her.
That's her head. That's not her like actual head. That right? That's like a little.
I'm pretty confident it's not her actual
This
head.
looks like chainsaw art.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it's a
chainsaw
bust
art.
of her head, and she's wearing her hat.
It's definitely like a stump.
Yeah, and it's
Someone
either
sawed it.
wooden or I don't know what it's made out of, but yeah.
It's probably wood. It's probably a stump. Here's another
And then
one of her.
that's kind of her. You're right. That's very low res.
It's an old photo. It's like early photography.
Yeah.
Sarah Winchester.
Okay.
This is probably the best picture we have of her. It's not a real photo.
Yeah, it's a painting.
It's a painting. Yeah. Somebody
Yeah.
painted that.
Okay, so I got an idea who she is.
Sarah Winchester, she was born in 1839,
Okay.
and she was born in Connecticut. Her family was like kind of a well-to-do family, whatever. She met a guy. She met a guy by the name of William Wirt Winchester. This is him.
Yeah, I like this style. I like a guy. He's got who's the president that has this beard? Rutherford B. Hayes. Who's got that beard? No, it's he's right after James Garfield. He was his vice president. Is that Taft? No,
it's not.
That's
Taft. It's
Chester.
Yes.
Yeah. Chester.
Hold on, I'm pulling up all the presidents.
James A. Garfield's vice president was Chester. Chester Cheetah. Chester Cheetah. Does Grover Cleveland also have that hair? That was a pretty popular haircut. The beard.
Yeah, Chester Arthur.
Chester Arthur.
So anyways,
she was. I was saying that how we got here was the facial hair. Was that he does the thing where his beard, and I don't know what, maybe it's because you drop too much food on your chin. You got to clear some space. But they do the thing where they shave their chin and leave that whole gap open.
Yeah.
So you can just see a straight shot to their neck.
And then they just have
But then the
whole
beard
bunch
down
of
the
beard on
side.
sides.
Yeah.
It's like handlebars, but if it just kept going up the sides.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, so she married this guy, William Winchester. She interesting
We don't have a bust of his head though.
Yeah.
So she's the important one. Shout out to women's rights.
I don't know if I would say she's the important one. She's the one.
I'm just going to clip me going, shout out to women's rights, and you going, no context, because it seems like you're not for them. Shout out to women. And with that vest, they're going to draw some conclusions, buddy.
So they got married. They got married in 1862, and at the time, his dad, his name is Oliver Winchester. This is him, who
looks like a Churchill type figure.
Very much. And when at the time he was a shirt manufacturer.
Okay.
And so like they kind of had like a modest living. They got married. They were living their life. Civil War kicks off. William's dad.
Which
Oliver,
side are they on?
They're actually for the North.
Okay.
They're very progressive. They thought that everyone was a person and you should treat them like that. Very progressive.
Sure.
For the time.
For the time. Yeah.
But Oliver had a a clever idea.
They were just fighting for the North, and they were like, I don't care about all the slavery stuff. I just want public transportation. You're like, what? What are you talking about? We want horses running on a route.
On a single route.
Yeah.
The city should pay for it.
The city should pay for it.
The city should
shows
pay
up.
for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so during the Civil War, William's dad, Oliver, has an idea to make a gun that could fire repeatedly.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And this is the Winchester repeater.
Right. There we go.
And they become unbelievably wealthy basically overnight. And so they move in Connecticut. They get a house on Prospect Hill in New Haven, Connecticut. Massive 20,000 square foot mansion with 20 rooms, marble floors, decorative fireplaces, chandeliers, large windows, plasterwork ceilings, and a circular drive in the front. There's just a
circular drive?
Yeah, just a picture of wealth in the
circular drive,
1860s. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean a circular? What are you looking at me like that for?
Just a circular drive, huh?
Yeah. It's probably wrapped around a fountain. You came in wrapped around a fountain.
Sure.
Yeah. What do you want? What are you looking at me like that for?
Do they do valet or do they do?
I don't know, man. I'm just reading a Wikipedia article. I'm just sitting here reading a Wikipedia article to you. Don't ask me questions.
All right.
And then there was a series of unfortunate events starting in June 1869. Well, actually, I should say starting in June 1866. They had their first daughter named Annie. And unfortunately, Annie suffered from marasmus. Do you know what that is?
No.
Marasmus is like a really rare condition where essentially your body can't process nutrients from food. So you
starve.
No matter how much you eat, you starve to death.
Yeah.
And so the child did not survive long. It died within a month after birth, which was devastating for the family. And so they kind of withdrew from society for over a year. They were just kind of
sad.
Yeah. And then in 1868, they completed the house. They moved into the house. 1869, Sally's dad died. We don't know exactly what killed him, but the theory is possibly rheumatoid arthritis. And then in 1880, Sally lost 3 other family members. And then her mother died in 1880. Her father, father-in-law, Oliver Winchester, owner of the company, dies in December of that same year. And then in 1881, her husband names her executor of the family trust.
Okay.
And then shortly after, he dies from tuberculosis. And so in the course of like about a decade, she loses basically the whole family.
Yeah.
And so, but she's the executor of the Winchester family fortune.
Right.
And so she inherits in $1880, $20 million, which adjusted for inflation is $657 million today.
Holy cow.
Everything must go. TILLN's going out of business, and so our Patreon is now $6.99
No, do not
for
say
all
that. Don't say that.
tiers.
People will freak out. They don't know we're joking.
TILLN is not going out of business. That was a joke. But we are reducing the price of Patreon to $6.99 for all tiers. You get every perk. You get access to Discord. You get access to every episode.
See, when you hype it this much, it seems like...
Oh my gosh, it is high.
I know, but when you talk like that, it seems like we're really selling.
I was trying to do a we're selling bit.
You know,
the bit was
like,
I'm a sleazy salesman.
I want to make it that, but I straight up think that we've been doing that bit too long, that people are like, it's a little...
This is the first time I've ever done the bit. Before I was a sleazy salesman.
No, we did the whole, hey, Tuesday. We did those bits.
Just leave it all in. Do this whole thing.
Join us on Patreon.
And not only that, she inherits that wealth,
right?
But she also has 50% of Winchester. And so she inherits cash, $657 million today's dollars, but also has 50%
today's dollars,
50% of Winchester. And so she's making $1,000 a day,
right?
Which adjusted for inflation is $25,000 just every day. She's just making $25,000 on top of her $20 million, which is just crazy.
Yeah.
So unfathomably wealthy is the picture I want you to get here.
Okay.
But crazy decade of just unfathomable loss as well. So like she gained so much and she lost so much. And so she, after all this...
That's what it takes.
What are you willing to lose?
That's what it takes.
So she spends basically a few gap years on the seashore in Connecticut.
Selling seashells.
Thank you. She spends a few.
Sarah sold she sells on the seashore.
That's where we get it from. And then she took a trip to Europe. And then she came back home and she saw a medium by the name of Adam Kuhn. And Adam says,
"Golly, you got to give me all your money."
Adam sees her and Adam talks to the dead. And he says to her, "Sarah, the dead are telling me that you need to make things right. And they're going to haunt you until you do because of all the lives that your guns have taken."
Also, just on hauntings, right? If you think of the 1800s, you ever been in a room with just one candle lit? Mm-hmm. It looks pretty ghosty.
It looks like there's ghosts everywhere.
I mean, it's pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
You know? So, I mean, that's...
Have we talked about on the podcast where the idea that ghosts float come from?
No.
It comes from early... You're looking at me like we have. Oh, is that the Botox? Sorry.
Yeah, I had too much Botox. I can't do anything. I'm looking really surprised. Hold on here. I can't move it.
It was early film. They would project ghosts onto the walls and stuff, like for movies, like the screen. And I guess like the way early film worked, it was like not high quality. There was a big bokeh effect, so you couldn't see the feet because of the bokeh effect on the shot.
Oh.
And so they filmed it with the ghost having feet, like walking around. But in the shot, it looked like they were floating, and it just caught. Everyone's just like, "Oh, ghosts float." And so before that, if you look at like historically ghost mythology before that, they walked. But after those early film movies, they started to float everywhere. Really interesting.
Yeah.
Because of a weird technology quirk.
Huh.
But anyways, so they were floating. They were walking at her time. Actually, that does make a lot of sense. Now that I'm saying this out loud, this makes a lot of sense in context to the story. Interesting. Okay, so...
Okay.
So
she believes in ghosts. She thinks she's being haunted by her family?
Not her family, from the people that her guns have killed. Her family's guns have killed.
You know what?
Haunting her.
Good.
And she's kind of an Alfred Noble situation. Like she's like, she's like, my family's invented all these guns and got all these guns in the world, and now the people who we've killed with our guns are coming for me. And so she after meeting this or talking to this medium, she moves to the West Coast. She's like, I gotta get as far away from them as possible.
Yeah.
And so she moves to the West Coast and she buys a house called the I'm guessing this is pronounced Llanada Villa. It's Llanada in Santa Clara Valley. This is the house that she bought.
Oh, sick.
And when she bought it, this was a little 9-room house.
Wonderful house.
Yeah, this is a little 9-room house.
Just a little 9-room house. Not a big deal.
And she, while she was in New Haven, Connecticut, they did a lot of projects and she ignited a passion for architecture and design.
Okay.
And so when she moved into this house, now having basically unlimited money.
Right.
Just kept expanding.
Just kept adding stuff. Oh. Oh. Yeah, for audio listener, this is now a full like castle. I mean, it's like, imagine that you have like a house. Go back to the original picture. Is this all that's left standing, or is this like a smart angle where it doesn't show everything?
There's some context there.
Okay. So, it burned down. Good. So the front of this house is like, what kind of architecture would you call this? Like, there's like those like round.
Yeah, it's kind of a mix of like Tudor and a mix of like I don't know.
Yeah, there's like sharp peaks.
Yeah,
and,
a little Italian with the red tile roof.
Red tile roof.
But also kind of cottagey.
Yeah, just a good mix of all the stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then the second picture, is just like take a house, add a room, and then add another room to the house, and then just keep doing that over
But you're
and
adding
over.
rooms to the room you
But
added.
you're adding, yeah. You're not making it look like it belongs to that addition. This is a very clearly an additional thing. And then also in the back, you just start going up.
Yeah.
And you build a little, like what looks like a church tower back there.
Yeah, it just keeps going up.
And so you have to have a watchtower. You got to have guards now to watch over your gigantic property. Holy cow.
So I want you to see a footprint of this from the sky. This is years later. It is it gets pretty
Huge.
big pretty quick.
Right.
And in fact, we actually do have like a virtual tour. This is a screenshot from a virtual tour.
Oh my gosh.
The house. This is just one floor, obviously, probably the first floor.
What do you even do with all this?
Well, so this
Don't go in the tunnels.
So this is the story. She got this house specifically. Well, I guess a couple things are going on here. She has a lot of money and she wants to architecture is her passion. So she's doing that. But also, she decides the ghosts are after me.
I'm going to make an elaborate maze that the ghosts can't come through.
Yeah.
So
no
way.
So she's like, if I make this a labyrinth.
Okay, but I have said this on the podcast before. I have to build a house, right?
Yeah.
Because the ghosts don't know the layout. You know what I'm talking about? If you live in a house that ghosts have lived in, they know where the rooms are. They know what's
been
upstairs.
there before.
But if you build a house, fresh layout. All right, I don't care how haunted that land is. They don't know there's a wall there. You know?
That was her mindset.
So she's fully building a maze for ghosts.
She's building a ghost labyrinth. And so when you go through the house, what's crazy about this is you go through and there's staircases where they curve and the steps have weird angles on them. Here's another one. Staircases just go up to nothing and they stop.
Which, and this is important to know for her, is so much creepier than just ghosts. You know what I mean?
My house freaks me out, but at least the ghosts get lost.
Like the house is so much scarier.
Yeah. Here's another weird staircase
than a ghost
situation going on. And then, here's another spiral staircase. There are doors that just go out.
Door to nowhere.
Of the house. And then there's staircases where it's like, here's obviously a wide stairwell that she just shrunk really tight. There are rooms where she just covered the room in glass that goes through to a bunch of windows in like a display.
Huh.
And then like weird dome rooms. This room actually looks like if you finished it would be pretty sick.
But it also looks like the scene of a scary movie. Like this is where that girl, the family's bought this house and their daughter's upstairs in this dome room playing with dolls. And then there's something behind that mirror over there, but we're not going to show you what it is yet.
We're not going to let you know.
You know, because it's daylight, but at nighttime.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm just saying if you want to make a place look haunted, that's how you do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the way she's doing it is exactly right.
She's almost like, hey, ghosts. You guys want to live somewhere cool?
Well, honestly, that's interesting you say that because it is kind of, there is the new thing right now. We've talked about Cloudflare. They're like the security system underneath the internet. They just recently, about a year ago, launched this thing called the Labyrinth, the Cloudflare Labyrinth. And what it is it checks the traffic when you try to hit a website. And so whenever you've ever hit a website and it's like you see that screen where it's like, are you a human? And it like loads for a second and then it lets you through. That's the Cloudflare Labyrinth. And if it detects that you're a bot, what it does is it just takes you through what they call a labyrinth, and it's just a set of links that just links it through endlessly and gets that bot lost in their labyrinth. And so they're actually setting up honeypots to catch these bots and then just get them stuck in their labyrinth. And that's the system. And so it's a very similar idea.
I did spend 4 hours the other day trying to click into a website on Cloudflare, and I was like, golly, these captions are really annoying. I spent 6 hours doing it. I spent 12 hours. I was embarrassed to be honest. I spent 16. I spent 4 days in a little like clicking through the thing. I was embarrassed. I was
just trying to look at a 1991 Ford Ranger.
I was trying to look at that picture of that Ford Ranger.
and Cloudflare was like, this guy's looking at a lot of Ford Ranger pictures. He cannot be a real person.
I said, Ford Ranger hot. Search.
Ford Ranger hot.
Look at that Ford Ranger. That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah, that's the exact idea, but for ghosts.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It's like we make a place that ghosts are gonna love, and then we get them stuck in there.
Yeah.
And so that's what she was doing.
Does she live there?
Yeah, she lives there. So she
knew her way around. She's got her own little path.
Yeah, she's got her secret ways to get through this house.
Her secret ways?
Yeah, she's got her like side paths that get her through the house quicker. It's kind of like IKEA where you got the side doors that get you through faster.
It's kind of like when I worked the cruise ships.
Yeah.
All the guest areas look, I don't want to say they look nice. They looked cool in the 90s.
They're designed.
They're designed. They're nice. But the second you go to the back area, it's like this whole thing is just a metal thing, huh?
It's just like Universal.
Yeah, exactly. When you go to the back, you're just like, oh, you guys just painted the front of that sign, huh? Didn't even care about the back of it.
Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah, never mind. But once the facade is gone, you realize what
it is.
And that's what she was doing for ghosts.
Cool.
So she spent years here hiding from the ghosts, and long story short,
that was her main motivation for buying this whole house, was just trying to outrun ghosts.
Kinda. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's still open today, and it does tours today.
Do they do ghost tours?
They do the ghost tours. They do the thing. This is the story. But it's not. It's not exactly true. We don't know for sure if she ever even saw a medium. What happened was she had rheumatoid arthritis as well.
Okay.
And so she bought this house. She had architecture was her passion, and she had more money than she needed. She also lived in the Santa Clara Valley in the middle of the Great Depression.
Right.
And work was hard to come by. And so there's some theories that she was doing all these expansions just to make sure everybody in her community had a job, because she had endless money.
And she was like,
just keep expanding.
Just do construction.
Yeah. And so they would just keep building onto her house, and she just kept these projects going, partially to keep jobs going, partially because she liked the adding onto her house.
Could just give them money.
Well, I'm not gonna let them. I'm not gonna just give them away.
We're
not gonna do any handouts out. Nobody. I worked for my.
Why don't you build a staircase to nowhere? You lazy bum. You couldn't just give them the money. No, add another room. Make it a spiral staircase to nowhere. Yeah. You poor sack of crap. Like, that feels worse.
I mean,
that feels worse.
I guess.
You were trying to make it seem like she was really just trying to take care of the people in her neighborhood. No, she wasn't. She was trying to exploit the people in her neighborhood to build an extra labyrinth for her own entertainment.
So that way the ghosts
build an interior wall room, fill it with windows. Don't put the windows in the wall. That's weird. Hang them from the ceiling.
What are you doing with the windows?
You freaking idiot. Here's your weekly pay. Like, if you add that attitude to it, it's way worse.
It changes it.
It does change it. It does. You don't have to do that.
But like the people, they want to make an honest living. They don't want to just get money. Yeah. Nobody wants to just get money for nothing.
Anyways, I don't think that's true.
Oh boy, am I sick. I sure do need Tim Stone's Get Well Quick Trick. And what is it? It's simply chug an entire gallon of orange juice. Wow, I forgot. And then this shirt reminded me. I'm so glad that I have this shirt as a public service announcement, a public health service to other people around me. Do your part. Get this shirt. Shop.TILLN.com.
She bought that house for $12,570 from a guy named John Hamm, who could be the same one.
That's so stupid.
No, but she lived in this house.
Ooh,
and what it seems like is likely.
It'd be funnier if you pulled up a picture of John Hamm.
From John Hamm.
From John Hamm. Not that one. Just wanted to have a picture reference.
Just wanted to get a John Hamm.
A John Hamm rolling around in your imagination.
What are you thinking of a John Hamm?
I'm watching a show right now with John Hamm. I'm watching that Your Neighbors and For Your Friends and Neighbors, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me. is Gen X just getting divorced at crazy rates right now? Because
I mean, they're divorce age.
I guess. It's like 50s where you get divorced because
I'd say like 35 to 55 is prime divorce years.
Yeah.
So I think that is, yeah.
Well, I mean, like The Rooster on HBO, which is Steve Carell's show. It's life after divorce.
Divorce, yeah.
It's John Hamm. His whole life the whole show is life after divorce. Like it seems like a lot of the shows that I get recommended that are like, I mean, even freaking Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
There's life after divorce. And you're just like,
divorce is really common.
I guess. Are we just trying to help people cope with it? I don't know. It feels like
I think ultimately, like all these shows, like what they want to do is you want to be able to see yourself as the character.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so is the audience of divorced people big enough?
I guess so, yeah.
That all the writers of these shows, so many shows, are like, there you go. You're gonna like this one. It's about divorced people.
Let's find out. If you're divorced,
I mean,
put it in the comments. If you plan on getting a divorce, put it in the comments.
What was that other Steve Carell show we watched? The Four Seasons.
The Office. Oh, yeah.
The Office.
Yeah, Four Seasons was a divorce one. Yeah.
So I'm saying they're all.
But Four Seasons was a remake from the 70s.
I know that, but I'm saying that like there's just a lot of divorce content right now.
True, yeah, there is a lot.
Not a lot of married content.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if that's algorithm.
I think it's because marriage is boring.
It is tough.
I'm not joking. I mean, I do think that like healthy relationships aren't dramatic enough for shows.
For sure. Bree and I were talking about
my relationship's dramatic enough.
We were talking about
me and my wife are like James A. Garfield and Chester Arthur.
One day I'm gonna replace her and I'm gonna take her job.
No.
And I'm gonna do it better than she ever did it.
Okay. Well, that was.
I go to every.
One day I'm gonna replace her.
I go to every work function, and I tell her boss, one day I'm gonna take her job. I'm gonna take her job.
Yeah, I'm gonna take her 5th grade teaching job.
One day I'm gonna take that job.
Hey, I'm gonna take this job. So you and Bree were talking about who's.
Okay, whatever. We don't have to do this bit. We can do a different bit. No, we've been watching reality TV, and there's a character on Summer House who did not have his
person.
His name is
These
Carl.
people are not characters.
Carl
They're
has
real
not
life
had
people.
his life together for the majority of the show.
Yeah.
Last couple seasons, he got sober, got clean, and like started getting healthy, started exercising, opened up his own restaurant, got his life together.
Yeah.
They did a spin-off series. They did not ask him to be a part of it. And he felt a little slighted, like you could kind of tell.
But it's also like
you're not interesting
anymore.
You got your life together. You're not good for reality TV.
Ryan Tricky, a good friend of mine, has a really funny bit, or at least he used to. Now he's married and has a kid. But back when he was single, he had a bit about this girl he broke up with. And he's like, I broke up with her and I saw her a couple months later and she was like, I'll have you know that I've been working out. And then I wake up and I got a new job. And my life is so much better now. So what do you have to say to that? And he was like, well, what are you doing on Friday? He goes, don't come to me and be like, I fixed all those reasons you broke up with me.
Problems.
So and he's like,
I'm rich now.
Yeah, and I have a better paying job and I'm happy and and he's like, okay, then let's go out.
Nice.
Funny bit. Anyway.
So she buys this house.
Yeah.
She starts expanding, doing all these expansions. But what we think
Hold
is
on.
the reason.
Speaking of reality TV.
Yeah.
By the time this comes out,
we're deep into Big Brother.
We're deep into Big Brother.
Yeah.
But we're not deep enough that if you're not currently on it, you can still jump in.
Yeah.
You got like a month and a half left of this game.
Yeah.
And we love Big Brother.
We've got a channel in our Discord dedicated to it.
Yeah.
So if you want to become a patron and
come join us, talk about Big Brother.
Yeah.
It's 3 episodes a week, and I watch the live feeds, dude. I'm in.
It's a lot of fun.
It's great.
A lot of fun. Great show.
If you don't know what Big Brother is,
read a book.
Read a book. No, but people, there's people who feel like they can only like Survivor or Big Brother, and I tell those people that they're wrong.
Yeah,
because Big Brother happens live. Every Thursday night, we're watching that person get evicted live.
Yeah.
And then you can log in at any time. Anytime. and just look
Just
what they're
watch
doing.
'em.
Just watch
Just
them.
watch them.
Just watch them eat their breakfast.
You can
Watch
do the
'em
same thing
whatever.
with flock cameras.
You can do the same. It's really great because like for like a summer, these 16 people in this house in Los Angeles are like my model train set, and I just get to watch them. I log in and I go, look what they're doing.
Look
right
what
now."
they're doing.
And then I get to judge them, and I go, I would never make that decision.
I would never do something like that.
And then the person you like the most, week 3, turns out to cheat on his girlfriend in the house.
And you're like, no.
And you're like, Vinny, no, man.
I've been tweeting about how great
I've been
you are.
tweeting about how much I love you, and I'm like, oh yes,
now I
my
have to go
guy,
delete all my tweets.
My guy. I've been calling you my guy all
My
season.
guy's a cheater.
And then at the end, you get to final 2, and I do get to watch you lose, and that really pays
and
off.
that really, it's vindication.
You know? Oh, it's so good.
I've been vindicated
Yeah.
from Vinny. All right. So she moves to
She buys this
California.
house. Yeah.
And it's pretty obvious the reason she chose to move to California was for a warmer climate because she also has rheumatoid arthritis like her dad.
Right.
And so her health is declining. In this image I showed you earlier, this is like an old school wheelchair that looks like a carriage.
Oh, it
This
does
is like
look
an
like a
old
carriage.
wheelchair.
Yeah.
And what is pretty clear when you look at it at the story with that lens,
Right.
these are essentially early forms of ADA compliance in her house. She's
Yeah.
making longer steps, so she can actually like
Take her
the
wheelchair
step,
down it.
get down it, move around
Right.
it. She built these staircases. I don't know if I've got a picture of one of these staircases somewhere.
Yeah, that right there. Those
No.
are shallow stairs.
Yeah, those are
Okay.
shallow stairs. But yeah, here's one where you see how it's kind of angled. There's like angles in the staircase.
Oh, that's for her
so she
wheelchair
can
to.
no, it's so she can take steps and step up, and then step up to the next one. But it's not like a steep step. For her
Oh,
to step,
gotcha.
step,
Okay.
you know? And so she's coming up with creative ways for her to get around her big house easily. That's not as painful for her.
Gotcha. Sure.
There's also a famous room that the storyline is there. You walk in that room and there's 4 fireplaces on every wall, and there's thick curtains all the way around the room. And the storyline was the labyrinth leads the ghosts there, and then she burns them up.
She was just cold.
No, well, what it really was is this was a sauna. So she could go in there and the heat would help relax her pain
Joints.
Yeah. So she
Yeah.
could feel better. So all this stuff like has a logical explanation.
Ghosts don't like saunas.
Ghosts hate saunas. And then like stuff like this door, there was a
That
block.
that was for her to fall out.
that was
That was for her to be like, the easiest way to get downstairs is just to roll on
just
out of
roll
here.
out of here.
Yeah. That was
This was
exactly
before
what.
the elevator.
Now the door was to open and let the spirits out. They were right about that.
They were right. That was that.
Yeah.
part. That was real.
What did she use the door for, you think?
No, this was for a pulley system. They would stick a pulley out so
Like
they
an
could
elevator.
lift things up. Yeah.
Yeah.
To the second floor. But here's the thing. You'll notice in these early photos we've got all these towers.
Yeah.
But here we obviously don't in the
Yeah,
actual
what happened?
photo. There was the San Francisco earthquake. And in that
Oh.
earthquake, massive portions of the house came
Fell over.
crashing down. And so what she did is instead of
What year was the earthquake?
1906
That's right.
was the San Francisco earthquake. And so instead of like actually like reconnecting everything the same way, she took the opportunity to reconfigure a lot of the house.
Sure.
And so that left some of these staircases going to nowhere. And so there's a lot of these dead ends
Gotcha.
because she just redesigned the house after the earthquake. She didn't like actually just like
Oh,
tear other parts of
okay.
it.
So they like then the ghost tours just made stuff up.
There's perfectly logical explanations to everything in the house.
Sure.
But what happened was whenever she died in 1922. And so in 1922, there was a guy by the name of John H. Brown, who was a pretty famous roller coaster designer. So here's one of his roller coasters. This is the
In 1902?
Well, in 1922.
I mean 1922, I mean?
Yeah, this is one of his roller coasters. It's called the Backety Back Express.
The Backety Back Express.
And it's because you go around and then you come up and it just hits that top.
Yep.
And then you go backwards.
Right.
And that's Backety Back Express.
Yeah. Express.
And so he was a big roller coaster designer. He built theme parks. That was his thing.
Sure.
He found out about this house and he toured it. And he's like, I know exactly what I can do with this. This is a fun house, is what this is.
Right.
And so he creates this whole mythos of she was a crazy lady who like was scared of the ghosts and made this labyrinth for the ghosts and created this
Right.
whole storyline that stuck to this day.
that he can make money off of
Yes.
for charging admission.
Yes. So he basically created the storyline that the lady he bought the house from was a psychopath.
Yeah.
And I'm going to exploit that. And so he sold that story,
and she has no other relatives to prove me wrong.
Yeah, what are they going to do? Tell me I'm wrong? Yeah.
Did she hadn't have kids, huh?
Who
does the Winchester fortune go to?
You know what? I don't think she had because they had that one kid that passed away, but I don't think she had a kid after that. I haven't heard anybody talk about it. Let's see. Let me look at her list. Yeah, she had that one child that died. So yeah, there was no relatives. She was the last one. So I must have just gone to corporate control after that, I guess.
Wow.
Which is crazy. But yeah, and so they began marketing it, and it's been kind of a tourist destination ever since. As of 2018, so it's quite a while ago. It's probably significantly higher, but it was a $7 million property.
Oh yeah,
what it was appraised at. So the Winchester house, very cool. Was theoretically haunted, but not really.
A ghost labyrinth.
Yeah, it's just a really early version of like accessible design that was done by someone who's just so rich. Yeah, I wonder what they did with her money. She probably put it in like charities. She was a big charity person.
There was a room in the house. It was like in the middle where you go in there and it's like really hot and it's like, it's like it's hell. And the devil is just in there playing the fiddle, waiting for you to join him
24/7.
Yeah,
she trapped him in there. He's been trapped.
Well, I have Satan trapped in one of those rooms. That's why we walled it off. Walled it off because Satan's in there. Hey, if you like that episode, we have another one that's kind of about another labyrinth. It was called the Latitude Society, a secret society in San Francisco. You can check out that episode. It's one of my favorites. It's wonderful. If you want next week's episode right now, join us on Patreon. It's only $6.99. And come join us on there. And we get next week's episode right now, ad free, and you get to hang out with us in Discord. So we'd love that a lot. So please share this episode with somebody. It really helps us grow the show. It's like the biggest way to help the show. So just share it with somebody. Thanks.